So, hey guys, today we are talking about mirrors. Well, by mirror I mean, of course, mirror duels, where you are just facing your own deck essentially. So there are different generics that people run, but for the most part, your engine will be the same. So we're going to focus specifically on engine and not hand traps. Like, for example, in the branded mirror, if one dude draws Ash Blossom and the other doesn't really have anything that they can do about that, it's like, you got Ash Blossom. Oh no, I guess, right? Well, that sucks for you, I guess. So, yeah, we're not going to be focusing on that, so we'll focus more on engine here. So, here's a mirror that sucks ass. Vanquished Soul. This deck counters itself so hard, and a lot of decks actually do this, where your own deck just counters your own deck so hard, you just can't do anything about it. So, your deck, first of all, like, assuming both players open Vanquish Soul Razin, you know, you're doing great, you're doing lovely, right? Vanquish Soul Razin, yay. You opened Razin, no Ash Blossoms or generics being taken into effect, or taken into account. Yo, I hate to break it to you, but you know what's funny about Razin? This is going to be your normal summon, and unless you opened specifically Stake Your Soul, you have no way of getting another Vanquish Soul monster on the field at this point in time, right? And uh, uh, so one of the primary things about Vanquish Soul is you have Caesar Valius and you have Heavy Border to avoid targeting, right? Problem. There is not a single card that targets in Vanquish Soul. That there just isn't. So if, for example, chain 1 Rosin, chain 2 Caesar Valius, tag out Rosin for Caesar Valius, for example, or Borger, okay, then Borger gets summoned as the chain resolves, and then Caesar picks the target during resolution of like what you want to pop with Caesar. Okay, now we'll pop Borger, and then you can't make rock or anything, and you have no cardboard that you can do anything with, essentially. So cool, I guess you pass. And now you die next turn because you have literally nothing you can do. So going first is just whoever's going first is insanely favored in the Vanquish Soul mirror. It's just pretty unplayable for the going second player. So just for example, even like with just Mad Love, assuming I Mad Love pass and grab like for example Dust Devil, this is just unplayable. So assuming we have, for example, just Mad Love effect, okay. Return the one monster with the lowest defense on the field to the hand, your choice of type. Yo, yeah, you know what's crazy? This is the highest defense point Vanquish Soul monster, aside from Xiaolong, which, I mean, you're not summoning Xiaolong first, trust. So, one, two, three, four, all four of these guys. Well, yeah, all of them have less defense than Madlove. And if tied, it's your choice, right? So if you were to summon Madlove as well, you better bet every single Vanquish Soul card, doesn't matter if you try to do the tag out with like Caesar Valius, for example, it's going straight back to the hand. So, not much you can do about that, eh? So, yeah. All of your monsters, no matter like pretty much which one you normal summon or you try to special summon tag out into, yeah, they're not resolving, or they're not like you're going to have no monster on the field. And if you don't have a monster on the field, you can't play in Vanquish Soul, essentially, right? In fact, Xiaolong, you would probably special summon this by revealing a card in hand, but if you were to do anything aside from like special summon Pantera and then reveal an Earth, there's no way Xiaolong is going to hit the field realistically, right? And even then, let's say we do something like really dumb, like let's say we have an unfortunate hand and we're playing Vanquish Soul, of course. So we have just Dust Devil and Pantera as our primary forms of interaction, and the rest is pretty much just bricks. Normal summon Pantera, our opponents, but like normal summons Rosin, we just Dust Devil immediately. No matter what they do, the monster they have is going to be face down, and we can probably run it over with Pantera, unless it's like Mad Love, which is kind of humorous. And now if they don't have like another normal summon, they won't be able to play necessarily, right? Because these guys are actually just bricks in hand unless you have lower level like Vanquish Soul or any Vanquish Soul on the field for that matter, but the only Vanquish Souls that will special summon themselves in this case are the lower level ones. So that's a bit miserable in its own way. So this is just the Vanquish Soul mirror, alright? So surely there is a good mirror out there somewhere, right? So Kashtira mirror. Yo, you know the primary Kashtira combo, of course, right? So the one card Unicorn combo, special summon Unicorn, add Theosis, special summon Fenrir, adds Rise Heart, special summon Rise Heart, Fenrir, Unicorn makes Shangri-Ira, Rise Heart effect, banish Big Bang to then detach and special summon Fenrir, triggering Shangri-Ira effect as well, which allows you to special summon a Rise Heart because of this effect, because Shangri-Ira successfully activated its effect. You can special summon a Rise Heart on top of Rise Heart, and then here you will have Rise Heart, Shangri-Ira, and Fenrir. And because Shangri-Ira is 3000 defense, 0 attack, and also because sure Rise Heart is 3k here, you'll like just pretty much always be able to get Zeused. Yeah, so in the mirror, literally normal or special summon any single cash card. All these are triggers now. The only effects you can activate are triggers, right? So you can trigger Fenrir, and then Shangri-Ira will special summon probably either like Ogre or Tear Cash, or not Tear Cash. Tear Cash doesn't do anything actually here. Not Tear Cash. If you special summon either Unicorn or like Ogre, these are also triggers. If your opponent simply does battle, then they can, well, because you activated Ira effect to special summon like Ogre or like Unicorn, a Rise Heart is now special summonable using any Kashtira monster. So a Rise Heart then attack into, for example, Ira's fine, make Zeus, wipe the board, everything is gone in one card. And your opponent doesn't necessarily have to play like that, like just Kashtira in general, just Fenrir is enough to do this, right? And then, yeah, what are you left with here? Not much. So, yeah, you just get Zeused. And that is the mirror, essentially. So the optimal play for the mirror is unironically just passing on a Rise Heart with 3 materials. So you don't use the effect here to special summon a Rise Heart on top of just Rise Heart. You would use all 3. Which, in the long term, if you're considering the grind game and all that, this is worse for that, right? But there's nothing you can really do about this. In terms of one card combo, this is technically better, but like, of course, damn. In the mirror, you just get Zeused and board wiped by 1 special summon card. So, that's kind of miserable. Not gonna lie. And of course, every mirror, of course, just in general, has like this insane downside, like just of any given deck. If someone plays a deck, they know the choke points. They know exactly what you're trying to do and how you intend to do it. And if they have the cards, they know exactly when is the optimal time to shut you down. Pretty much, right? So, the mirror of any deck, for that matter, is pretty bad because of that reason. There are like certain advantages to like going first and second for certain decks, right? So notably, Kashtira. The mirror is favored for going second. Vanquish Soul, the mirror is favored for going first. So if we go to Zombie World, for example, though, this mirror, insanely awful for the going second player. So, yo, how do you beat Doom King as a Zombie World player? Like, okay, if we have to deal with Doom King, right? How do you beat Doom King? So, Doom King negates your effects in the hand, unlike with other decks, because you're playing zombie cards. So, assuming you have some zombies you want to activate in the hand, that is not gonna happen. Just for example, though, Standby Phase, activate Maxi. Chain 2, Ash Blossom Joe Spring. Chain 3, Doom King on Ash Blossom Joe Spring. That would not feel well. That would not feel good. And then there is also if you were to try to Uni Zombie, yeah, that's not gonna fly. It's instantly gonna get banished and that's over. So yeah, all your choke points are really known by someone who plays your deck, right? And they will be able to hold their like things, like whatever like hand traps, interactions they have, or your actual choke points. Your baiting will probably not work unless it's like a really good bait, right? It depends on the deck. Uh, but yeah, just for example, against Tier Limit, do you guys know the actual optimal point to hit Tier Limit? If we have, for example, infinite impermanence, when do we imperm exactly? So I'll go through a line, and I want you guys to tell me when you would imperm. Okay, so normal summon Rhino, sending halfness effect on Rhino, halfness, make kick Killos effect, send Tier Cash, or you can send Shirin in this case. Doesn't super matter to either make Rukelos or do mill 10, right? So either is fine, and then from here, we'll probably mill a Sharon, maybe, and then we'll go just make Rukelos, pass, and whatever else we mill, we can extend from there, right? So where is the optimal point to actually imperm? Where is the best point to imperm here? So it's situational. It is the correct answer. So you either do it on Rhino Heart or you do it on Kid Kelos. So if you do it on Kid Kelos, this will stop the search and this will stop all the mills, right? So yeah, that's just great. Yeah. If you were to do it on Rhino, there is a risk. So if you do it on Rhino, your opponent can still play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Essentially, right? So let's say my opponent actually still has a Sharon and a Tier Cash. So here they can still play, right? So they don't even have to mill good. Just, for example, special summon Sharon, sending Tier Cash, effect to mill 5. Doesn't matter what they hit. If they hit, more power to them. Let's assume they completely miss. Rhino, Sharon, Redoer, special summon Kick Hellos, and then here, since we presumably have Tier Cash, but essentially any monster works here, right? It doesn't matter. So, Kick Hellos effect now, and then we can mill 10, we can make Rukelos pretty freely. We have a lot of options here, surprisingly. Since we specifically have Tier Cash already, we could even grab, for example, Scream, and that would be fine. We could grab Salik, and that's not like the worst. But essentially, you can still play the game from here if you do Imperm on Rhino. So in this case, if our opponent actually had Sharon in hand, the better point to Imperm is going to be kick Kalos 100% of the time. If you actually had the information, if you were an Esper and you knew your opponent's hand, right? So this principle, of course, of just like holding for a different point in case your opponent has a thing can go to like, just for example, like invoked. So like normal summon Alistair, do I imperm this? I mean, you can imperm Alistair or like magical meltdown, like you could ash those, right? But then your opponent could just have just Alistair already. So notably with meltdown at least, if your opponent normal summons Alistair, ashing this is a little bit better than ashing meltdown sometimes, but there can also be like, aside from your opponent already having Alistair in hand, they could already have invocation in hand, but no Alistair. So the correct call is actually to ash meltdown in that case, but it's very situational, and in general, just negating Alistair is better than negating what's searching Alistair, Aside from that, I guess you just roll. And that's just, also good. Because then you don't have to think, you just activate roll and hope for the best. But in case you have to think, you have to think steps ahead, like, did my opponent open blank? Well, did they also open blank with this? Because if they did, then if I imperm here, it does nothing. But if I wait on my imperm, actually, there is a payoff for it, right? In which case, like, imperming on Kikalos is significantly better against a tier in this situation I described, right? But of course, like, you don't always have, like, all the information, but even then, assuming your opponent, like, didn't open the extender, it is still okay to, imperm Kikalos, because this gets Kikalos out of the equation, essentially, right? Because if we allow our opponent to summon Kikalos and force them to have to stop at Kikalos, now Kikalos is on the board, and we have a chance to get rid of Kikalos. So notably, if you have a deck that can banish, then that's how you're getting rid of Kikalos, and then that really hinders a lot of tier limit plays because there's only one copy of Kikalos, right? So yeah, pretty situational here. But assuming it's the tier mirror, I mean, there's not that much knowledge necessary, really. So it's just like, uh, you normal summon Rhino, okay, I Sulik Rhino. Kikalos, you trying to summon Kikalos, I will, Rukelos that. No Kikalos for you. And that is probably adequate most of the time. Uh, Unless you need to actually use one more interaction, I guess. In which case, damn. Sure did interact with my opponent there. But yeah. In general, mirrors just kind of suck. One player is just insanely in a better position than the other. So, notably with like every single mirror I can think of, like just, for example, Numeron mirror, though, would be just nothing happening. That sounds like a miserable mirror. And then there is, for example, like, let's see, Speedroid mirror. You just put down a bunch of negates, so whoever's the going first player, they probably win, right? They're just decks like that where you don't really get to interact with your own deck because, you know, it's just not a good mirror because your deck just shuts down your own deck so hard there's just nothing you can really do about it, right? And this is like even worse when whoever your opponent is, not only are they playing the same deck, well, they know, like, well, they're also in a better position, but not only that, all of their negates and stuff are probably going to be used at fairly optimal times because they know your deck very well because they're literally playing it. And it doesn't help that like your interactions in the engine for that deck also shut down your own deck very damn hard. Best case example, Vanquish Soul. Well, non-targeting removal. That is like the worst enemy of Vanquish Soul, essentially. Oh, what do you mean? Every single card here is non-targeting removal. Ah, woes me. Guess I lose, you know? That's not great. And then, optimal points of interaction. For example, a lot of people, for some reason, they just don't play around Borger and, Caesar Valius. So, if you play around them, that gets a lot worse a lot of the time. So, most of the time, you won't have, like, 2 fires, and this will stop a lot. So, let's say normal summon Razan, add Xiaolong. Rocco the Vanquisher on Razan after you Razan effect to trigger Xiaolong to special summon. Then summon Rock, attempt to add back Razan to hand. Negate Rocco the Vanquisher with Imperm. So, okay, at this point in time, what interactions do you have? Well, you have Rock of the Vanquisher to add Razan back next turn. Well, that doesn't do anything. I guess. What are you gonna do? Xiaolong search Caesar Valius? Well, you don't have the attributes for this. How about Borger? Well, you don't have the attributes to do anything with Borger either. So the only like effect that you typically have after getting shafted by this point, assuming you don't have like a crazy hand, Xiaolong, can change one of your monsters' battle positions. That is about the only point of interaction you have here, right? Assuming we just save the Imperm for Rock of the Vanquisher, right? Yeah, that's it. Nothing else is gonna happen, pretty much. Just for example, though, if we just didn't even get the opportunity to grab Xiaolong, so like with an even worse hand, if we were to have to go for Mad Love, well, there's no good play here either. So you would Mad Love special summon with Raka the Vanquisher, and then there's no Rousing Pop, right? There's not much going on here. You can grab Dust Devil, and of course, assuming you have Borger, you can dodge with this, but it's just literally just Book of Moon Pass, so not much you need to Imperm here, honestly. It's just whatever. But this is an easy just like uh Imperm on like Rock angle still, because Rock is just going to be impermable, which is better than imperming nothing at all, which is essentially what you're doing if you target, for example, like a Madlove and your opponent just has a Borger. So, yeah, that's about how it goes. So, yeah, mirrors, not great. If you guys know like a good mirror, feel free to let me know because I just don't really know any good mirrors. Like, interesting thing about the zombie mirror, for example, like the zombie world specifically mirror, is that blow up bloom. This triggers and allows you to special summon a zombie monster from your deck if Zombie World is in a field zone. Not yours, just in any field zone. So this allows you to also summon a Doom King. But yeah. Doom King actually has this lovely line of text that makes it like pretty awkward. So during the standby phase, if a face-up card is in a field zone and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position. You can only use this effect of Doom King Ballad Rock once per turn, once per chain, when a zombie monster, except for Doom King Ballad Rock, activates its effect. You can apply one of these effects, but you can apply that same effect of Doom King Ballad Rock again this turn. So, for example, if you were to activate a, so let's assume both players have Doom King Ballad Rock, alright? And then you normal summon Uni Zombie, alright? I activate Uni Zombie. Now my opponent can instantly trigger Doom King Ballard Rock to banish my Doom King, and I cannot respond with anything. So, yeah, that's success. And there's literally nothing you can do about this. Like, nothing. And then, if we do our opponent does any effect, we can do the same to them. So it's like insanely awkward when the situation comes up, but it should never come up because your opponent controls Doom King Ballard Rock, right? So that's essentially how that goes. So that's awkward. And of course DD mirror. Oh, this is actually one of the like worst mirrors in the game because like these Machinex just like murders pen decks in general. So let's say for whatever reason there's uh a good reason, I guess. Yeah, for us to wanna like scale Orthros or something, or activate some like of our scale effects. Yo, Deus Machinax has this lovely effect of being able to suck up penned monsters, and then we won't have scales. Well, what do we do if we don't have scales? Nothing. We probably needed to pen summon, so that sucks. And just for example, like if we were to scale like our entire hand, pretty much, Deus can suck up that entire hand. Like, and that is only Deus Machinax, and our opponent still has more cards. So, yeah, this mirror, not a great one. The going first player just is so favored. It's just not even funny as long as the combo goes off without any, like, issues. It's a win. Cool. And you're just doing a lot better. So, yeah. They'll also be able to, like, think, damn, I know the point where I just interact. It's on Gilgamesh. I will just, negate Gilgamesh with whatever. Headhunt, Imperm, whatever. And then, boom. Uh, you lose. Simple. So, yeah. That's all I got for you guys today. And if you guys genuinely have any good mirrors that you know about, let me know because I don't really know any off the top of my head. Every mirror just seems pretty painful to me. I don't think I've had a single fun mirror. Like even the ninja mirror is kind of just painful because you know, the art of dancing leaves is just like brutal, like absolutely brutal. Activate this card by targeting one ninja monster or one face-down defense position monster on the field, bro. It's as if you have Layer of Darkness active. Like, this card makes the mirror just, like, a little bit miserable. So, yeah. That's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.